Welcome to Tamer Bowling Video Ball Reviews. If you like what we do, please support us by joining our Patreon page. A big thank you to Jeff Miller and Ron Hoppy. Don't forget to check out Haley's Pro Shop in Burlington, Washington for world-class drilling and coaching. Alright, by now you should have checked out several of my favorites for 2019-2020 and a new categorization that's intended to help you create an arsenal. Today I'll be looking at my favorite mid-late category. This category is essentially the balls that are cleaner than your mid-control sort of benchmark balls and are more angular. Typically your step down when the lanes open up. They can always have more uses depending on your style or if you alter surface finishes. Again, if you haven't watched the category explanation video, the arsenal building video, please check it out. All right, the number 5 ball in the mid-late category is the Storm Emerald IQ. Before you crucify me how this ball could only be number 5, keep in mind this is my personal view and I simply do not have this ball in my bag. The good is that it is a very good ball. Clean, smooth, but punchy. It's kind of like a baby mid-control ball, which makes perfect sense for a mid-late ball. The bigger issue is that it almost falls into the next category down for me as a lefty, which is the weak category. So fundamentally, I rarely see conditions to use this ball. And even with surface, I prefer other balls in this category. But to my eye, I do love this motion. So for some, this ball is a no-brainer. Because it somehow straddles the line between mid-late and weak for me, it tops out at number 5 in this category. All right. On to number 4. It might seem strange to have a Pearl ASIM in this slot, but the 900 Global Honey Badger Extreme Pearl is my number 4. I called it a baby no rules pearl in my video, and if the no rules pearl slots in the mid defined, this one slots in the mid late. The big thing with this one is that it easily feels like a step down, but still very controllable. It responds to friction, but relatively slowly for a pearl, which makes it controllable but still punchy. I've had a few opportunities to slot this ball in the bag. Number 3 is a bit more typical of what you might think to put in this slot, the Rotor Grip MVP Pro. This easily fits into the mid-late category. It's clean, but not as long as you would anticipate. Because the ball still wants to read near the end of the pattern rather than way after, it still has a great back-end motion. And that makes it a ball that you can confidently slot here. I call this, slot mid-late, but these are the type of balls I enjoy in this category. I actually still want to get some read and not have a really long and snappy look, which would fit more in the weak catch-all category. All right, number 2. I probably couldn't have a top 5 without this ball. Granted, it's another ball that probably has very limited availability now with the acquisition by Brunswick. However, Hammer Staffer rarely had a TV show appearance and not thrown one at some point. It has the same characteristics I described for the MVP Pearl. We're talking about the Hammer Rodman Pearl. It's clean, yes, but still reads the end of the pattern instead of scooting long past it. It has a strong, later move. It should be a great complement to your mid-control ball. Time will tell what Brunswick offers in its place. I think they have to put something in there. It's such a stalwart. I will say I did have to adjust that factory surface, which you probably should do with any ball you get because you can't replicate it. Factory surface just made it too long, but once you adjusted that, it fit perfectly in this category. All right, on to the number 1. Some might think the world has been flipped upside down. I have a tie with my top mid-late category, and neither is from the Utah brands. The Brunswick Melee Jab SE, a special edition, and the Motive Supra are my top picks here. The Melee Jab has been a great ball since the first release and continued with the special edition. It's essentially like Brunswick's Marvel Pearl. Too bad Storm doesn't have that ball in the lineup anymore. That definitely will make the list. But back to the winners, the Melee Jab, again, feels easy to get down lane, but because of the rolly core, it doesn't read too late. and has that boomy, rounded, angular motion. It's very reliable, and I love that in this slot. For the other ball, the Motiv Supra. Motiv has come a long way when it comes to pearl cover stock technology. In that regard, the Supra is a spectacular piece. And while EJ Tackett might make every ball look great, the Supra is the best look I've ever had with a Motiv pearl. It's a little closer, I would say, to a flippy ball than the Melee Jab. Similar length, but a bit more back end. In the end, both balls are easily the top of my options when it comes to filling the mid-late category in my arsenal. Are there other balls out there that fit in this category? Absolutely. My list is not meant to say those aren't good balls, but these just happen to be my personal favorites. Hopefully you picked up on some nuggets of wisdom on arsenal building on the way while indulging me with sharing my personal favorites. Again, if you haven't checked out the personal favorites arsenal building explanation, do watch that as it helps you understand the groupings and how I build an arsenal. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to get notifications. Thanks for watching.